Hi there, how has your week been? Today, let's continue exploring the amazing book From Strength to Strength and look at how we can restart our life and live with deeper joy and meaning. Principle 7, Awakening the Spiritual Side of Yourself. In the first half of life, we often chase achievement and external success to feel happy. And yes, that works, at least for a while. But as we age, that kind of happiness tends to fade. What we truly long for is the second half of life, is something deeper, joy that comes from meaning, purpose, and connection beyond ourselves. Science tells us there are two kinds of happiness. One is pleasure, which is short-term and based on achievements or sensory experience. The other is joy, which is long-lasting and comes from meaning, spirituality, and serving others. Our life usually goes through 3 stages. 1. The learning stage, when we are young and focus on education. 2. The achieving stage, where we build careers, earn money, and maybe start a family. But here's the trap. This is where most people get stuck, chasing money, power, and recognition, thinking this phase can last forever, but it never satisfies completely. 3. The spiritual stages, where we start asking deeper questions. What really matters? What's my purpose? What am I here for? Many high achievers enter these stages totally unprepared. They have spent so many years ignoring the spiritual side of life that when they hit this point, they feel lost. But here's the good news. Studies show people with faith tend to be more joyful and resilient in this stage. They are less likely to fall into depression and more able to handle the changes that come with aging. Let's be honest, our minds are often full of me. It's like watching the same boring TV show all day long. But faith and spirituality can shift our focus to something bigger. We start asking, where does truth come from? How can I help others? What's the story behind my life? That shift takes pressure off ourselves and brings peace. And here's something to think about. If we believe our identity can never change, like saying, that's just the way I am, we shut down many possibilities for growth. But if we allow ourselves to evolve, we can break free from old patterns and step into a new season of life with hope. The author shared how he once chased academic success and recognition, but still felt empty. It wasn't until he began exploring his spiritual life that he found real peace. When he considered leaving his job at Harvard, he talked with a wise friend who said, "You are not running away from work. You are being pulled toward something deeper." That moment helped him listen to his heart and eventually leave his prestigious job to pursue work that aligned more with his faith and value. Letting go wasn't easy. He was afraid of losing his title and reputation, but when he realized those fears came from ego and insecurity, he started to forgive himself and make peace with his past. He began practicing mindful walking, just noticing the sounds, his breath, and each step. He encouraged us to do the same, take a daily walk, slow down, and be present, because the truth is, being alive, breathing, and walking, those are already miracles. Principle A. Turning vulnerability into strength. A meaningful life often comes out of pain and loss, not success and victories. Pain can be a doorway to deep transformation, so many of us, especially high achievers, spend our life hiding our weakness. But in the second half of life, our deepest connections often come through our vulnerability. The author recalls a moment after one of his talks when someone came up to him and said, "What moved me most wasn't the data. It was when you admit your struggles with anxiety and self-doubt." That hit him. He realized when we are honest about our struggles, it gives others permission to be honest too. That kind of connection is far more powerful than any award or title. It's natural to want to avoid pain or numb ourselves with busyness. But if we look back, the moments that truly shaped us often came through hardship and failure. One older man once said, "The year I learned the most was the year my wife died. It was painful beyond words, but it forced him to reevaluate what really matters in life." Life doesn't follow the script we imagined. A lot of things are out of our control, but what is in our control is how we respond. Real strength isn't about controlling everything. It's about learning to accept what is and finding meaning even in the chaos. The author also tells the story of a once famous professor who developed dementia late in life. Despite forgetting many things, he still knew how to love. His students say, "I don't want to become who he was at the peak of his career. I want to become who he is now, gentle, kind, and full of peace." That's a different kind of victory, a spiritual victory. In the first half of life, we are busy proving ourselves, but in the second half, we can finally let go. True freedom comes not from needing to prove our worth, but from believing that we already have worth. Simply by being. The author shares another story. After one of his talks, there were no standing ovations, no media interviews, but for the first time, he felt a deep, peaceful silence inside. He said, "I don't need applause anymore. I just want to be true to myself." We need to redefine success, not as being stronger, but as being more humble, softer, and more real. We are not strong because we don't have wounds, but we are strong because we have turned our wounds into paths that lead to deeper love and freedom. Look at Beethoven. He went completely deaf in the last 10 years of his life. You would think that would end his music career, right? But those years were actually when he created his most powerful works. He found new ways to hear through vibration and memory. In fact, his music during that time changed the world and made him one of the greatest composers of all time. Principle 9. Live a life where you use things, love people, and honor God. Big life changes don't always come from crisis. Sometimes they come from a sense of adventure, a desire to explore something new and meaningful. When the tide goes out, we can finally see the ocean flow and catch fish. In the same way, when our lives move away from the high tide of success and busyness, we can finally see what truly matters. Even if it feels like life is going downhill, don't give up. This may actually be the best time to plant new seeds for a future full of joy. With the right mindset and approach, the second half of life can be the richest and most meaningful season we'll ever have. The author suggests 4 powerful strategies to help us restart our lives. 1. Redefine success from achievements to meaning. 2. Build lasting happiness, not just temporary pleasure. 3. Give back. Live with a legacy mindset. 4. Embrace love and faith. Add eternal value to your life. That's it for today's episode. If you are in the second half of life or even preparing for it, I hope today's reflections gave you some hope, comfort, and direction. Life's not about climbing forever. It's about going deeper, loving better, and living with purpose. See you next time. Take care and be well.